Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and Polo fans across the country. Welcome back to Polo Athletics, brought to you by the Whittier College Sports Network. I'm Lance Franny, Assistant Athletic Director for Communications, and I'm joined this afternoon by Executive Director of Athletics, Robert Coleman. Thank you for joining me this afternoon.
Thanks for having me, Lance.
Now, Rob, a start to another year here for Polo Athletics, and we have already gotten underway in 4 sports this past weekend. I know you're very excited to get this year moving, but first things first, a plethora of new coaching hires this offseason. Can you touch upon what sports have new coaching hires and what these coaches bring to their respective teams?
Sure. I think we've done a great job in hiring of our new coaches for this upcoming season. And, first off, Chris Duarte McDermott, who's already upon his season. He's already played four matches and off to a 2-2 start. And Chris has done a great job with the girls. I think the girls are really enjoyed their preseason. And they were committed to him. I watched a couple of those practices, and they went fantastic. So he's obviously off to a really good start with the girls. And Ben Boletto, who we hired to oversee as our director of tennis for our men's and women's tennis program, also has come in. And obviously they're not in season just yet, but I'm really excited about what he obviously accomplished at Pomona and what he can bring to our tennis programs and continue the tradition where David Bojalet left off. So really excited about that piece. Our athletic training staff, we added 2 great hires there to the staff, and we have 3 wonderful trainers for this year. And then obviously the latest addition, Trish Bonagara, who will be here starting tomorrow as our new women's lacrosse coach. Really happy about that hire as well, and hopefully we're going to turn that program around very quickly with the addition of her and the staff.
Fantastic. So a lot going on this fall season with 7 sports occurring, including football, men's soccer, men's and women's cross country, volleyball, and men's water polo. Football is coming off of a 4-5 record and looking to build off of that success from a year ago. What have you seen with this program and talking with Todd Strand and his staff, and by watching some of the practices they've had over the week and a half?
Yeah, well, obviously we're really excited about the staff, first off, because I think that's where it starts, and great job keeping them together. We didn't have really any retention issue with the staff this year, and so that's obviously a huge start. The team's not super large. I think as most folks know, we did a good job recruiting. I think the quality of the program is really high. The depth of the program isn't one of our strong suits, but we're really excited about the upcoming season. Coming off the season we had last year, capturing the shoes back, and we'll be going up to Whitworth next week, and really excited about the opportunity to go up there and try to get our season off to a good strong start.
Now, earlier you started talking again about volleyball. Head coach Chris Duarte McDermott here now with the whole new coaching staff. They went 2-2, beating 2 Northwest Conference opponents in Lewis and Clark and Whitworth. 2 big wins for them in 5 sets, 2 regional victories. How have the girls been responding to Chris, like you talked about earlier, and his new coaching staff? And kind of what new additions do they have, which hopefully will put them in contention for a playoff run?
Well, I haven't seen them play yet at an actual match, but I think, again, it started with our coaching staff, what Chris has brought to the table, his communication style with the team. Obviously, Bree and Jeff, his assistants, have also done a really nice job, and it just seems like really strong harmony on the team right now. And obviously, we brought in 4 new freshmen to the team, and they made huge contributions this past weekend. But it's an experienced team, and I think we have a wonderful chance to go from, I think we had a disappointing year, obviously, last year, to take it back up and get into the playoff, and that's our goal right now. And they're just really high emotions on the team. I think they're enjoying playing volleyball right now, and that's going to go a long way for us, I think, through the season.
They have a lot of veterans, too. They're graduating 7 seniors this upcoming year, so a lot of a lot of experience on that program. So hopefully that will come across nicely this upcoming season. Now, cross country got underway this past weekend at the Cal State Fullerton Invitational, and head coach Greg Phillips sat out most of his returners so he could take a look at his incoming recruits, his freshmen, his transfers, to kind of see how they'll run for the upcoming year. Now, do you expect the program to continue moving forward back to where it once was, competing for a SCIAC championship? Both the women's team is quite small, and the men have a lot of talent on that program, bringing back their top 3 runners. What have you seen with that program?
Yeah, I continue to see Greg recruiting hard. Obviously, I think it's kind of fluctuated where we've been strong with the women, and then all of a sudden we become strong with the guys, and it's difficult obviously to be great in both programs, but recruiting continues. I think the ladies are just young. I mean, if over the past 2-3 years we've had some insane cross country runners. As far as talent, individuals will be in our Hall of Fame at some point later on in the next 5 to 10 years, but it's hard to replace those individuals at Division III. So Greg continues to work really hard on the ladies' side to kind of build that back up. And obviously the guys, we are really excited about where they've come from, because 3 years ago they weren't at this stage, and now to see where they are today with the returners coming back, I think the sky's the limit. And obviously we want to get off to a really, really strong start here over the next couple of weeks. But we're expecting obviously great things from both programs, but I would say the guys probably have a really, really strong chance, to finish top 5 to top 3 in our region. And I think that's the goal.
That's great. Now moving into soccer, men's team is coming off their first SCIAC championship berth, the first time they've knocked off a top 25 opponent in the program's history. They lost both Serdan Jovanovic and Adolfo Santos, 2 future Hall of Famers again here for the purple and gold. But what do you see with this program moving forward and the players that Shea Harwell has brought in? Are they a contender once again?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, the expectations were really, really large last year, obviously with the team we brought back, with the seniors that we had, and Adolfo being hurt for the majority of the season kind of affected it. But, nonetheless, we made it to the championship game, had an opportunity to win a SCIAC championship, and, it wasn't our day, unfortunately. I think coming back here, I think, Shea's done a nice job with recruiting, but he's diversified that talent a little more. Instead of being just having 2 or 3 really good players, I think we've diversified to have 8 or 9 good players and take that and spread that wealth out a little bit more. So the expectations are still very, very high. I mean, it's make the playoff, and as I think we all know, once you make the playoff, it's really anyone's game. I think the last 2-3 years, anyone in the top 4 could easily have won the championship. I mean, the games are that close. So that's the goal. I think Oxy and Laverne are going to be better, and Kalu's going to be better. So obviously Chapman being in the conference last year, they finished in 5th place. So it's not going to be simple. It's not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. But we're really excited about our depth and the talent on our team this year. And the other good thing is we're pretty young. We're certainly not an old team at this point. So looking forward to it. And look, it's the SCIAC playoffs is really our goal at this point.
Yeah. Now moving on to the women's side, Monica Gerardo brought in a strong recruiting class and pushed Cal State San Marcos, ranked 17 in the country in NAIA program, pushed them into double overtime, fell 3-2 in a heartbreaker. Madison Shippard ended up scoring 2 goals to send it into overtime, first off. But she has all SCIAC members again, Shippard coming back, Rosemarie Orlando, along with captain Kirsten Davis returning. As Monica continues building the depth of her roster, what do you see with this team moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, the same things I think that she sees. I mean, we're taking really, really nice steps every single year. I think more and more, I think we're more confident going into this season with the returners that we have. I mean, Madison picked up, where she left off. Obviously some new goalie. We're creating competition now with our depth on our team, and that's what we want to do: create competition in positions. And again, I think we're a fairly young team there. And I think the realistic goal is to make the playoffs, quite honestly. I mean, I think in this conference, you can make a jump of over 2 or 3 teams with, the right play from the get-go. And obviously we started out really strong this past weekend. Unfortunately, we lost the game, but, it was a really good statement about what we're going to be this year, and getting some goals against a high-quality team, and also I think our defense and coming back the way we did actually really shows a lot about a young team. So, again, I think her goals are the same as mine. We're taking those steps. We'll be disappointed if we don't make the playoffs, but I think each year we're moving up the road with that. So yeah, so I think we're heading in the right direction.
Great. Now moving to water polo, they get underway this Saturday with a triple header against Fresno Pacific, Concordia, and Cerritos. Justin once again has loaded his schedule with tons of Division I opponents, making it one of the toughest schedules in SCIAC. Then if you look at their roster, they continue to add depth and talent up and down throughout it. What do you see with this team as they seek a SCIAC championship? They finished 3rd last season. Will they be able to make the playoffs this year?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously everyone makes the playoffs. I think if we don't win the championship, it's a disappointment, quite honestly. This is the team, I think, in our program right now who's really ready to capture a championship. Justin's done a tremendous job bringing in, excellent young student athletes from all around the country. And throughout the world, actually. We have some European players on our team, and so really excited about the schedule. It's very, very difficult, it'll be tough, but I think it will get us really seasoned for the SCIAC schedule when it comes around. The SCIAC's always been very, very tough, and again, it's the same thing with soccer, in my opinion. It's any one of the first top 4 teams can win this thing, and I know for a fact we'll be one of those top 4 teams. I'd be disappointed if we're not in that championship game this year. So looking forward to it.
And that's kind of been the buzz around here in the athletic department. They have those Croatians coming in from Split, Croatia. They have another great player in Roman coming out as well. So very, that's the buzz around here. People are getting very excited for water polo season moving forward, especially with Douglas Marriott and Goran Matej coming back too.
And they should be. It's a strong team. I think if they can stay together as a team and stay committed to one another through the season. Again, we've got some very, very difficult Division I teams we're going to play, and probably won't come out to be wins for us. But I think how we compete in those games is going to be really, really important.
And experience for those new players too coming in, and that will definitely prepare them very well.
Yep.
Now, as the year gets underway, are there any big events occurring in the upcoming months? Any new projects happening that the viewers at home should be aware of?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest event coming up, obviously, homecoming on October 19th, that weekend of October 19th. So really excited about that. But the big project we did over the summer was redo our men's and women's locker rooms, our team locker rooms for our athletic teams. And so really, really excited about that project and the support that we received from our alumni for that. And so excited that we got that accomplished, and did a little work up at the softball field by moving their outfield fence back, and we made an 8-foot fence. And so we did little things. Obviously, we've done a lot of really big things around here facility-wise over the last 2-3 years. So they were kind of coming to a halt, but there's always little things, and these 2 things we did with the locker room and the softball fence were really, really important that we got those done. So excited about that.
Great. Now, that's going to do it here for us on the Whittier College Sports Network. I want to thank Rob for joining me here for the first installment of Coleman's Corner for the 2013-14 year. Please tune in next month as we continue discussing the fall season and what lies ahead for Poet Athletics. Before we leave you, upcoming home events this week includes men's soccer tomorrow night at 7 p.m. when they take on the Masters College. Women's soccer has their home opener this Friday against George Fox beginning at 7 p.m. Again, like I said earlier, men's water polo has a triple header this Saturday at 10:30, 3:30, and 6 o'clock. And then on Sunday, women's soccer takes on Pacific Lutheran beginning at 11 a.m. Again, thank you for tuning in to Poet Athletics here on WCPoets.com.